Disney can do whatever they want and hand whatever changes they want on this show, which is not Doctor Who, and quite frankly hasn't been Doctor Who since probably the late Capaldi run. But they're trying to encourage people to believe that somehow, despite Disney's involvement in this, in paying for it, and admittedly giving a series of notes about virtually everything with this show, that no one needs to worry because it's still the same old Doctor Who, which, again, what the hell does that mean?
You are the timeless child.
Shut that mouth or I'll come over there and start her head.
The article comes to us from Games Radar, another trash tier site like Collider. But these are the mouthpieces that studios like Disney, Paramount, Warner Brothers, these are who they use to get their messages out. Doctor Who producer says not to worry about the Disneyfication of Doctor Who because Russell T Davies is in charge. Quote, from the Disney perspective, it's just a bigger audience, Collins told SFX magazine. So the show is bigger. And this is where it gets a little weird. But it's the same? It's a question. It's hard to explain. So all of the fear that everyone had, the Disneyfication or whatever you call it, that would only happen if Doctor Who wasn't being led by Russell.
Imagine how much fans love new things and will really rejoice when this happens.
Now, this would not be a shill Access Media site without going on to absolutely contradict what they just said. Going on into the article, as it turns out, Davies is also inspired by some of Disney's output. Quote, Russell wanted to bring fun to it. He just wanted to bring joy into the show and challenge people in all the right ways that Russell does. But also make it fun at the right points.
Something a male-presenting Time Lord will never understand.
Make it really fun.
From falling down on my
Take you on a ride. Yeah, I think a lot of us felt like we were being taken on a ride, probably since Chibnall in the first episode of Jodie Whittaker.
You are the timeless child.
So I think that's where the barrier of entry is removed, because adults and children alike enjoy that. Kids were already coming to this. Kids had always come to Doctor Who. By Russell T Davies' own admission, he was 8 years old and came to this show.
And mainly, it's the kids. It's that brand new audience of 8 years old. I fell in love with it when I was 8 years old, and I think that's the most important audience. If there are kids out there who will watch this and remember it in 40 years' time, then I think that's a job well done.
This article is basically pretending none of that actually happened, because what they're doing now, it's not working. And it's not like, oh, it's just for kids, or oh, it's just for adults, or any of this stuff. No, what did Russell T Davies say? He said the action was for...
There's the gags and the action at the top, and then there's the messaging somewhere in the middle, in the bottom as well.
And the characters and the emotion.
Of course.
Yeah, and I often think the gags and the action are for the adults.
Oh, yeah, and the messaging is...
So the messaging is for the kids. Actually, it's that way around.
Yeah, for the kids. Quote, actually he, meaning Russell T Davies, always looked at Pixar films in the way he wanted this, meaning Doctor Who, to be. If you look at the Christmas special, that would be that boring AF, chopped all to hell, Disney noted nobody watched it nonsense around Christmas.
Rocket Janice!
You know, the one that totally wasn't full of Disney MCU inserts.
What's the matter with you kids? You never seen a spaceship before?
Never seen a TARDIS before.
You never seen a spaceship before?
Never seen a TARDIS before.
Doesn't anyone notice this? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills!
Quote, if you look at that Christmas special, he wanted it to have the fun of a Pixar film and the complex levels of a Pixar film. No matter how well they're animated, they're all in the writing. Except, of course, anything that's been Pixar, in the last 2 years? 3 years? Pixar just laid off a big part of its animation department. Pixar is going to lay off even more people You know why? Do you know how many movies Pixar has coming out in this year, 2024? One. Do you know why? I'm going to postulate and point out the obvious. Disney interference and mismanagement and Pixar bombing because they walked away from the strategies that made Pixar beloved and started making it about sexuality and ideology. Again, to requote, no matter how well they're animated, they're all in the writing. They just are. They work with every bit of that writing in Pixar to make sure that when they get it to the animation, it reaches every beat, and Russell just has that innately. What do you think? Do you think that the Disneyfication is completely obvious? What do you think about Russell T Davies drawing inspiration from Pixar movies? I don't understand. Tell me in the comments below. I am Salty Traveling C. You please have a good one. I'll see you later.
Really, you'd be stupid to clear out the icons.
It's so dumb.
It's so dumb, it's brilliant.
No! It's just dumb.